Ben and I have also come up with a code name.
Okay.
So if I don't want to deal with it, we just say I'm Melissa.
Okay.
And we just go with that. Melissa
That's the
and
alter
Matt.
ego name?
Yeah.
That's the best you could do, Melissa?
What do you got?
Anastasia.
Ooh.
Roxanne.
See, that's cute.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not saying Melissa is some like spicy lady. She's just like plain Jane.
Okay.
She's under the radar. She's nobody.
Melissa from the Midwest. We love it.
Yeah, Midwest Melissa.
Yeah, Midwest
Call
Melissa.
me Melissa for short.
Okay, all right, let's get started. Hey, Jess, what have you been up to this week?
Oh, well, I got back from Chicago late last night. So for all of you who tuned in last week, I was having a bit of a last minute emergency as we're getting closer to setting a date for our wedding, and found out that my grandma wouldn't be able to make it out to California because she's having cataracts and she's just nervous she's going to fall. I guess she's less concerned, now that I find out more, she's less concerned about the flights and more concerned about having to walk down the aisle and be in front of people and things like that. So actually I met with my dad in Chicago and he thinks we can get her there. And if not, we're going to Zoom her in. I liked your idea on that, Ash.
Oh,
so
good.
We are settled. We are having the wedding in California. So I feel a lot better about that.
So she's shy, basically, is kind of what it sounds like. Aw.
Well, yeah. And I think, just she's getting older and she's whip smart. Don't get me wrong. So I think she's just, it's tough getting older and aging. And, I think she just doesn't want to be in this shape,
Yeah.
And I'm not there to see her very often. But every time I do, I'm like, oh, it's kind of strange to see that she's not able to do the things that she used to be able to. And,
yeah, like the progression of that. Yeah,
it's
okay.
tough when your grandparents get older, But it was a really good trip, really quick. And, got to see a few people, but mostly it was just like some R&R,
Yeah.
which was much needed.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. It was pretty low-key as well. It's been pretty low-key for the last few weeks. Just kind of, got a one-track mind right now. I think we're like 89 days out from the wedding. So just trying to save my coins as best I can and stay in the house.
Yep.
But it was good. It was actually pretty cold in Atlanta on Saturday, and then yesterday was beautiful. So Gary made some really good tacos yesterday, and that's kind of all we did. It was just kind of a chill weekend, which I really enjoy. So, yeah.
That's great. I love that he cooks.
He does sometimes. He gets like into these things where like there's only certain things he likes to make, right? Like
Okay.
he's not a chef, but yeah, I appreciate it as well because
It's nice every now and then.
yeah, it's nice every now and then. And I obviously don't enjoy cooking. Like, I'll do it, and we get Hello Fresh, which makes it easy. But, yeah, it's nice when he gets into those moods where he wants to cook.
That's the best. It's just so hard for me now that we have the kids here every other week, finding things that they like. It's super humbling.
Yeah. Yeah, I
like,
can't imagine.
Sorry, this isn't very good. It's like, okay, we worked for an hour on that. Thank you.
Oh, that's so funny.
But,
the picky little eaters.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I just saw actually online, like hard pivot, that Britney Spears is pregnant. Did you see that?
I did. I'm so happy for her, for
I
them.
know, isn't it cute?
That's really cool. Actually, Ben met her fiance at a protein conference.
Of course.
A protein conference over the summer and said he was really cool.
Was he? He seems
he's really
pretty
nice.
cool. Mm-hmm. He seems super cool. It's just like amazing, like all of this is happening, and I think they're married now. I think I saw.
Oh,
on
they
Instagram.
are married?
Yeah, I think so. She called him her husband.
Okay. Well, speaking of which, did Courtney and Travis Barker get married? I'm so confused.
I guess they couldn't do it.
Me?
No, I can't clear it up. But I guess they couldn't do it because they didn't have a marriage license. So they just did it. Like I think they were intending to do it. Like
they were intending to.
Yeah, but then they were like, oh well, I
Okay.
guess we're not married because we don't have a marriage certificate, and they're in the public eye. So TMZ or whoever will pull that certificate or that license and be like, they're not married. So they probably just wanted to take control of that narrative. The pictures look so cute though. I'm really happy for her too.
I'm so happy for them. So it sounds like they were really planning on eloping.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I'm surprised though because she wasn't married to Scott, so she's never had a wedding.
Right. Right.
I was expecting the Kim and Kanye experience,
Yeah, that was really nice.
but
I
yeah,
don't
maybe
know. I
she's
feel like
like,
she's
well,
always been not the oddball, but she's always kind of wanted to do something different. And I feel like Travis is just not. He's obviously not Kanye, and he's kind of been there, done that, and I don't know. Like
Yeah, well,
to each their own. Right now, I'm kind of like, dang, I should have went to Vegas. I would have saved a hell of a lot of money.
it's really hard. It's really hard to not do that when you see like Courtney and Travis doing it. So I have to say Ben mentioned it a few times last week.
Did he?
Yeah, 'cause, I mean it was all over the news, and here we are like in the thick of wedding planning, and we just have gotten the numbers sent over to us.
Oh, good.
And yes, so sticker shock has set in.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
yeah, it doesn't sound like a bad option.
No,
Honestly.
it doesn't sound like a bad option at all. I was like, oh, and the pictures are just as cute. So look at that. Yeah, wishing them all well. And looks like Kim posted something with Pete. Yeah, we've just been kind of keeping up with the Kardashians over here, which is what we don't typically do. But
it was a
they're
cute
fascinating.
pic.
It was really cute.
And their show's about to come out, so
I know. So they're upping the
they're
publicity.
pushing out.
They
a
know
lot
what
of
they're doing.
Buzzworthy.
They know what they're doing. They're trying to get people to watch that Hulu
for sure.
show, and I probably will watch it just for the Kanye drama. Kind of want to see what's going on and the Pete relationship and how that unfolded and everything. I think it'll be really fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out next week for sure.
Yay! Speaking of what we're going to watch or what we're watching, I know you've been watching The Ultimatum. I've started watching it. I've kind of been scanning to see what people have been saying about it. First impression? Oh.
I mean, just first impression, the relationships are not goals. I don't think going into the experiment, I don't know if they're calling it an experiment. The relationships are not goals. Obviously, if you feel like you have to go on that show, and I don't necessarily think they're going to be goals after the experiment. What's your initial impression?
No matter who. Well, my first impression was just like, gosh, you've got to be in a situation, like you've got to be you've got to be at a not a breaking point, but at some point to put your relationship to the test on international television. Like, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? And I looked and it's like, okay, these people have relationships. Like, it looks like, the show scouted them out and you couldn't just like make up a relationship to get some clout. Like, looks like these people have been in relationships for some time and willing to throw it away on TV.
Yeah. I mean, I know that it can get to a breaking point in a relationship when you feel like you should be at a point to move forward with whatever commitment it is you're looking for, marriage, kids, what have you. I know I was in a relationship for 3 years where he hadn't said, I love you.
Right.
And at that point, I probably would have done anything.
You know, on the show.
I don't know if I would have gone on a show, but I mean, that's a lot. If you really want to throw them under the bus. But I think it's backfiring on a lot of the people that issued the initial ultimatum.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's fascinating. Like I say, I don't think any of the relationships are goals. And, the overall goal of the show is trying to figure out if these couples should marry or move on.
Right.
And just something I noticed is they're quite young, right? It's not like these people are our age. I don't think anyone was in their 30s. And I guess for me, it was hard to see a couple of the ladies pushing their guys to commit before they were ready because the guys had really valid reasons why they didn't want to.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm not ready for kids yet. I'm not established financially. And, especially, one of the guys had come from a really tough time. Like, he doesn't know his parents, and they obviously, didn't have a lot growing up. So he wants to just establish himself and have a financial foundation before he starts to build his family.
So you bring kids into that mess?
Right. And here's this woman pushing him to have kids, and then her parents were piling on even too. And I'm thinking, if I'm the parent, I'm thinking that this guy actually has his head on straight and is probably good for my daughter.
Sure.
So that was the one thing. And then the other big thing for me is I feel like the show is basically they go date other people, right? Yeah. And they have to watch each other do that. So it's kind of needlessly painful. And then all they do is they get back together and check the person's phone. And then there's all this drama because, of course, it's kind of like a hall pass, essentially. So everyone was stepping out, and it just created a ton of drama. To me, it was kind of just unnecessary.
Yeah.
And, in the end, it's going to be hard to get past the things they did that were exposed during the taping of the show. And especially now that the show's coming out, they're going, wait, you did what? When you were with so-and-so?
So embarrassing.
So embarrassing. And I was surprised that they weren't all hooking up, though, with each other. I kind of thought that was the point. And then they didn't. And then she's like, I kissed this guy. Well, you live with him, and it's supposed to be like your husband. Like, of course you kissed him.
So weird.
Yeah. So I'm waiting on the finale. It'll be interesting to see kind of what happens in the end. It was cool to see these couples are all based in Austin. I spent a couple years in Austin, so it was kind of cool to see the laid back atmosphere of Austin in the background. But yeah, this one, it's pretty wild and crazy.
Interesting. I was actually just looking up one of the castmates, Lauren. She's kind of not lashing out, but she is kind of speaking out about Netflix, saying she was 26 on the show when she was like close to 30, and she's like resharing and reposting things like, how come men can be their age on TV and they make women, these young 20-somethings, like why couldn't she just be her authentic self, like her real age?
I say more power to her if no one questioned that.
Yeah. Well, so I think she's kind of offended. Yeah.
That's wrong.
Somebody commented and was like, aren't you 26 on the show? And she said they lied about my age. We can't figure out if it was intentional or not. And then it was like this whole debate about like, how come women have to be so much younger than men on these shows or on TV in general? Like, I don't know. Like, it was
I didn't know that was a thing. I did not know that was a thing. I can't imagine that was intentional. But hey, I give her, full credibility. Totally. She knows more than I do in that situation.
Well, how do you get that mixed up?
Yeah. 26 and 30?
Yeah.
Interesting. So, and that changes the perspective, right? Of
right.
The comments I was making earlier. So if they really are all 30, then that's different.
Right. And I thought that was interesting. I'm wondering how they're dealing with it, kind of like, Love is Blind just went off, right? And so they kind of rode the wave for a little bit, and then we've got, bam, this new show. And it's totally different, and I'm wondering how they're dealing with it, because I'm feeling like they might be getting a different reaction than the Love is Blind castmates, because these people are in relationships already.
Right.
And now people are judging your relationship, like on top of just judging you, and like, ew, I can't imagine.
That's the hard part about putting your relationship out there. And when we filmed After the Altar, Ben was going to go on it, but ultimately we decided we didn't want people judging our relationships. It's hard enough when people are judging you, but to judge my relationship, that was something I definitely wanted to keep private. So I feel for all these people, especially that it's now coming out. We don't know if they're together or not. I've actually seen some spoilers posted.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention those here.
Okay.
I want to see what happens on this finale and then discuss it. But yeah, it's a pretty wild and crazy show. It was funny to see how involved Nick and Vanessa were as compared to Love is Blind.
I agree. And I was actually going to ask you like a question. Have you ever given someone an ultimatum? I don't know if we've discussed this before, but have you ever given someone an ultimatum where you're like, this is it, like, you better marry me or you gotta go, or I want to move in with you, or,
Yeah, it was probably the other way around for a lot of my relationships, except for the one I mentioned where he just wasn't getting there at all, like in terms of I love you or anything.
Yeah.
And kept dragging it out. And yeah, I think I did say, do you love me or not? Are we doing this or not? And I guess in a way that's an ultimatum, but I was never issuing ultimatums to get married or have children.
I think it's pretty common though. I think that because people are always like, what's the phrase? Like date to marry. If you want to get married, date to marry, or, date with this purpose. And so I think that it is kind of fairly common for people to say like, okay, so what are the expectations? Like what's the next step? you know, like,
Sure.
I don't know. And so I think this show is really interesting in that, like, maybe the next step for one couple is marriage, and the next step for another couple is moving in together, or the next step is meeting the parents or something like that. And I'm just curious, like,
Right. I guess I don't love an ultimatum because how happy are you going to feel when they say, okay? Are you really going to feel the way you would have felt if they do it on their own in their own time? I don't know. I guess
right,
that's up to the individual.
right.
But I don't know. Have you ever issued an
I'm
ultimatum?
trying to think. I
And
mean, it was never about marriage, but like, I'm trying to think if
Yeah.
I've ever, yeah, I think so. Like, I think so. Where maybe I wanted to meet some family members. I don't think it was an ultimatum though, but
okay.
it was definitely pressure.
Yeah.
It was definitely like, what's going on? Like, hello, what's the next step kind of thing. But it wasn't
Yeah.
like, take me to the altar, because I've just never been that girl. But I do think like I've given.
Well, right, because you and Gary had been dating for so long, and we're all going, are you guys going to get married? Well, what's going on? When do
Yeah.
you think he's, and that's probably unfair of us to have put that pressure on you. But
I didn't feel that though with him.
You didn't? I know, and you were
No.
always so cool. You're just like, I mean, you guys are living together and you have basically 3 children and your dogs. And it's like, if that pressure isn't there, then that's great. And then he's able to do it in his own time. And how special
Right.
was that?
Sure. Yeah, totally. But I do know, like, some, even his friends, like, some of their wives have said, I want to be married in 2 years. And I think, like, everybody is well within their rights to kind of set their expectations. And if, like, you want to get married in 2 years and someone's, like, not doing it, like, I don't know. I think you are free to move on, right? I don't know. I think ultimatum sometimes
Absolutely.
gets this bad rap
Yeah.
when
Well,
it's
I
like, well...
Look, I think if you're on the same page and you're having the hard conversations about where you're at and where you're going, then I don't think you ever have to issue an ultimatum.
Right. That's true.
I think it's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, or like an ultimatum could be like, okay, I need you to stop going out until 2 a.m. Or like, you know what I mean? Or
Now we're back on Love is Blind.
yeah.
Jamal, what was that guy's name?
Oh gosh, girl, you're
We've
asking
so
me.
moved
I'm so bad with names.
We've so moved on. Jarrett.
Jarrett. Yep.
That was close.
Yeah, we need to check in on their Insta and see how they're doing.
We do.
Do you know?
I don't. I haven't heard any drama with any of those guys. I haven't seen a whole lot. I think
Yeah.
they're just kind of back to life as usual.
Totally. Well, I guess that's
Maybe.
the point of it. Life as usual
Yeah.
with a little more following and a little more promo, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
More for some of them than others, right? That's super interesting
That's
though.
true.
Because I think like when your season came out, it was definitely when the world shut down. So there was no going back to normal.
No.
It was kind of like soaking and basking in it for the next how many months for
We
these
were
guys.
all in this very awkward space together. And my life was being examined under a microscope.
People are like, let me watch this show one more time.
I did have this really crazy thing happen in Chicago, Ash.
What?
So I'm getting recognized more and more on the streets,
Oh, interesting.
more than ever because I'm not wearing a mask. Because before it worked
Oh.
out. That was the great part of the pandemic is I would go out with a baseball cap and my mask and you would just see this and like no one knew it was me.
Yeah.
Now I'm going out in the world and getting recognized so much. It's
Fun.
crazy. And yeah, but we went into this place in Chicago, this little cafe, and this girl started shaking and screaming and looking at my face. And she's like, oh my God, oh my God. And my friend Jen, who I was with, looked at me and she's like, what's on your face? What's wrong with you? What's on your face? Because she thought something was on my face, but this girl was just breaking down because she just watched Love is Blind, so it's fresh in her mind, which, whew, hate that. But she was like, I cannot believe it's you. I've actually never had that kind of reaction ever. So
Weird.
yeah, it was kind of wild. I think it's one, people are watching it again because
Yeah.
season 2 came out.
Yeah.
And it's 2, I'm not wearing a mask over my face.
Yeah, that's really
It's
interesting.
such a weird thing because I oftentimes forget that whole stage of my life happened. And I'm just business as usual. And then you
Someone
never know
will-
when it's going to strike. And usually because we were all going through this awkward time together and it happened so long ago, people can't place me, but they know me.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, it's you from 6th grade, isn't it? Or something. And I'm like, or they're like, from Minneapolis, it's you, right? I'm like, no, not even
so
close.
funny.
And I know where they know me from, obviously. It's just kind of funny to like watch people's minds get there.
Oh my gosh, I feel like maybe you should play into some of this. Like, yeah, it is me from 6th grade.
I have before.
Because explaining the real answer could be a little exhausting.
Exactly. Or yeah. And then I'm sorry. Or I'll be like, yes, it's me. I'm really sorry. Or yes, it's me. Da 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 da. Like,
but yeah, no,
that was 4 years ago. Like, please understand.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
But Ben and I have also come up with a code name.
Okay.
So if I don't want to deal with it, we just say I'm Melissa,
Okay.
and we just go with that. Melissa
That's the
and
alter
Matt.
ego name?
Yeah.
That's the best you could do, Melissa?
What do you got?
Anastasia.
Ooh.
Roxanne.
See, that's cute.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not saying Melissa is some like spicy lady. She's just like plain Jane.
Okay.
She's under the radar. She's nobody.
Melissa from the Midwest. We love it.
Yeah, Midwest Melissa.
Yeah, Midwest
Call
Melissa.
me Melissa for short.
Oh, we'll see about that. That's really fun, though. I'm glad you were able to go home, and now you're back in sunny California. Where are you guys with the wedding planning now?
Whew, we're moving forward. Actually, we're meeting with our wedding planners today.
Okay.
So we've locked them in, and we're down to 2 venues.
Okay.
Both are well over our budget, but we're trying to get creative. So now it's time to figure out, where can we cut?
What's your priority? Like, right? Like, that's like, as if I'm an expert, I'm definitely not. But like, what's your priority, and like, what do you value?
Okay, I'm like gonna write that down because we're so confused. One is a private estate.
Okay.
And it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. We'd have to transport everyone out there, and we'd all kind of be out there together.
Okay.
And then you're kind of stuck there, right? Which is okay, but I get anxiety. I want everybody to have fun. I want them to be able to leave if they're not having fun. The other is at a resort.
Okay.
So people would have more autonomy to go back to their room or go to the bar. Or like if they're not feeling social, they can go do their own thing, or they can even go down to the beach.
And then I feel like that's more of a trip too, right? Like if it's a resort, if people are flying to California, like just throwing my 2 cents in here. No, but the private estate sounds amazing. Like when you first said that, I thought, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. That'll be amazing. And busing people is not, I don't think it's hard. I don't know.
I don't think it is. It's also the resort. There's inside and outside. It's in November, so based on the weather, it could be a little difficult.
Oh.
And the estate will be a tented wedding.
Oh,
so we could have heaters, things. I know. I'm excited about the tent. I've been really excited about the tent.
Oh my gosh.
That's been the vision since the beginning. So we'll see. I mean, it's really going to depend on the budget, you know?
Absolutely.
But both are good options. So I'm just really excited that we at least have a location at this point, and so we're getting there.
Between 2 is like huge, because I feel like when I first started planning, I was kind of overwhelmed by the number of like places, and Atlanta has like 1/10 of what California has, so I can't even imagine. But I think this will be really pretty. Either way, you can't go wrong.
We're only giving people a few months heads up.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get it on everyone's radar.
Oh, and this is what this podcast is for. Do you want to give us any more details?
I mean, I know, right? I procrastinate in every area of my life, so like no one is going to be surprised at all.
I'm giving people a couple.
Like it's next month, okay?
Well, do what you want to do. It's about you guys, right? So
we're excited. And Ben, I've been surprised how involved Ben has been. I love when he takes initiative.
Okay.
And he will totally X-nay something if he's not feeling it. And I love that. Because a lot of times he's really indecisive. And I'm super indecisive. My dad and I actually had to talk about that this weekend.
You are.
I still can't make decisions without my friends and my dad.
And I feel like you're easily swayed.
I'm easily swayed. It's really hard for me to make decisions. I poll everyone to figure out what I should do.
Yeah.
But the thing that I do have is a good intuition, and I'll let that lead me a lot of times. But I'm very indecisive, and Ben is as well. Like, we'll be ordering at a restaurant, and I have to take the initiative because when the waitress or waiter comes over, he'll get really nervous and look at his menu, and I'm like, babe, what do you want? We're wasting their time. What do you want? Because I hate wasting people's time, and so he's way more indecisive even than me. But he has been just taking the initiative on this wedding planning thing. He's like,
good.
I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that. I didn't have the vision at this venue. So
wow.
it's been really fun for us to plan so far.
That is fun.
Has Gary been involved?
No.
On your
So
end?
I'm like on the polar opposite
Have you let
spectrum.
him be involved?
I've kicked him out of the kitchen, never to return. Gary is super opinionated, and which is fine. But when you're under the stress of wedding planning, like his personality type, I can't deal. Like I just, I don't know. I can't deal. I have to make the decision like with my mom and his mom and just like be done with him. And he's also like pretty like, like he'll go with whatever I say, but he always wants to be like, well, what about this guy? Or like, what about, like my friend did this, and this sounds so bad. People are like, wow. I just can't deal with it. I'm just like, I gotta be the only cook in the kitchen, and like I gotta steer this ship, and you can jump on board like 20 days out. I will say I just started bringing him in though with financial details. So have just like as of Friday emailed him like the spreadsheet with this is what's been paid, this is how much more we have to pay, and just kind of like keeping him honest there because I don't want him to be like have a heart attack when he realizes at the end and think that I just like went crazy. I'm like, no, this is how much things cost. Like I sent him like all of the flower quotes, like sent him, so he's aware, right? And so now his family's doing the rehearsal dinner, but I'm like looking into it for them. And so sending all of the quotes, and so that, like he's like, oh, okay, like it's not Ashley, this is like what it costs. So like looping him in there.
So he wasn't totally shocked by the updated numbers?
No.
That's great.
No, yep. He's kind of just like, it's so stupid, but it is what it is,
Yeah.
like.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, for sure. So that's kind of his involvement at this point. And, I sent him, we have to put songs in for the DJ, so I sent that to him. That's totally
cute.
something he can be involved in.
Yeah.
Put some songs in there, and I will approve them. No, I'm just kidding. And then I don't know. I even did like the tux info. Like I picked it out, sent it to his guys. I'm kind of just
taking
like
the initiative.
I got a vision, and I can't have him pulling me back. Yeah, 100%. And I don't think he wants to be as involved, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I think that it would stress him out too.
Totally. Well, I did message with him a little bit over the weekend about the wedding.
Oh.
And he was saying that he was pretty nervous.
Oh, yeah. I bet he is.
He's nervous about the dancing.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Which is so cute.
He has said that multiple times. He's just so silly. He thinks people are going to be like, oh, wow, Gary can't dance. People know this. It'll be fine. I think when we get there, it should be a good day, smooth sailing. But you know what? Anything can happen.
Be amazing.
Yeah, one of our mutual friends was just in a wedding in Mexico, and she was telling me like the makeup artist didn't end up coming.
What do you do? Do your own makeup?
Hair and makeup didn't end up coming. Like I think one of the bridesmaids couldn't come, and so I'm just like preparing myself that like anything can happen in this era of COVID and just like craziness and all of that.
Have you thought about backups for things like that?
No.
I don't think it would hurt.
I know, but backups cost money.
Oh, right, because you'd probably have to have a contract with them.
Yeah. I'm like your plan B.
But I think just being aware of who the other makeup artists are in the area.
Yeah, absolutely. And like
that's something I couldn't go without. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I know. And I'm just like, you know what? It's anything could go wrong, and I'm just trying to like prepare myself for that. So I don't want to. I don't know. I'm just gonna probably take a shot of tequila at 9 a.m. and just like let's go.
Absolutely.
As long as like my hair and makeup and my dress look good, I think like everything else will just fall in place. I hope.
It's gonna work out perfectly.
Yeah.
And you'll have me.
I have you.
The day.
Well, thank you. I'm so appreciative.
And I now have my dress.
Yay!
I have my pine green dress. I love that color.
Good. Okay.
Am I allowed to say your color?
Of course. Now it's a secret. Of course, I am so happy you guys. My sisters ordered, well, one of my sisters ordered a dress, and this is funny for people who have bridesmaids or who are in weddings, and she hated it. She's like, don't like it. She's like, fabric's cheap, blah blah blah, yada yada. And I was like, what? I was like, maybe you ordered the wrong one. So then I was like, I don't care. You guys just like, if you find a dress of the same color somewhere else, just get it there. And so that's kind of where I am at this point. I mean, dude, 90 days out, I'm just like, do what you guys need to do and just show up. So if you hate you hate the dress when it comes in the mail and you find the same color somewhere else, go for it.
Love it.
Just go for it. I don't even care. So that's it. But I hope everything else is smooth sailing from there. That's all we can hope and wish for. Trying to think of what else is going on. Yeah, but thank you so much for helping with planning.
It's going to be amazing. Yeah, of course. I got to get my hotel, and then I think I'm all set. We've got the bachelorette party is ready to go. Lots of fun little surprises.
That's in a month. That's crazy.
I can't believe that. It's a month and a few days.
A month and a few days. I'm like, what? That's so crazy. That's so soon. What?
It's going to be so fun.
Oh, I hope so.
And then we've got the bridal shower now, and Ashley's actually having that at her house.
Yeah, I just figured that would be easy. I don't know. Like, I think, like, all right, why not? Like, let's not go through the trouble of spending more money than we have to, and then,
I mean, you just bought this gorgeous new house, too, so it's a good opportunity to have people over.
Yeah, and it gives me, like, a reason to spruce it up and be like, okay, well, I definitely need this when I probably don't.
What do you think about themes for the bridal shower? Do you like a theme?
My sister asked me this today. Are you guys on to something?
Maybe.
I don't know. What do you think? Like, do people do themes?
I like high tea.
I want everything to be Bridgerton
right now.
Oh my gosh, I was just gonna say that, like Bridgerton.
It'd be so cute.
But then will people feel uncomfortable, like having to dress up?
I don't even know if people would have to dress up necessarily.
Okay.
It could just be a high tea.
Oh,
theme.
That's cute.
Or we could make it dress up.
No, don't do dress up. I feel so.
like,
I'm thinking of people who like are cringy, like would cringe if they had to do that.
And there's already so many people that are coming, and we haven't told them yet. We're like, guess what? You have to wear a formal dress.
Yeah. No. I think that's.
Like,
I think high tea is cute, but like high tea is like could be like.
Do you like it?
That could be like Easter dresses, right? Like, would you wear to the St. Regis tea?
Yes. Okay, let's go with it.
I think that's cute.
Yeah, love it. And Lindsay liked it too.
Oh,
her other bridesmaid.
Other bridesmaid, Lindsay. I know we have a voicemail. Should we play it now?
Let's play our voicemail.
It's kind of a long one, if I remember correctly, so maybe we'll cut it off a little bit.
This is kind of
long. We love
long.
you guys. You leave the longest, sweetest voicemails, but just for listeners' sake,
the best.
We'll cut it a little bit.
We love listening to them.
It's really interesting, though. Really interesting perspective. But if you can't find it,
for sure. By the way, if you listen to us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yes, please subscribe on YouTube. And we're going to do some YouTube exclusive content.
I'm excited about that.
Me too. And tell us what you guys want us to do on there, because we'll do it. While you're looking for that, though, because I know it's taking a minute. Oh, wait.
I forwarded it to you.
Yes.
Did. All right, we will do a YouTube of the Bachelorette as well.
Oh, that'll
be
fun.
We'll share some content and best practices.
That'll be really
because we're really doing it all.
Best practices. All right, this is from Samar. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right.
Hi, my loves. My name is Summer. I'm calling in from Toronto. And I just wanted to say that I absolutely love listening to your podcast. It's incredible. I love what you speak about. And it's great to hear your perspective, Jessica, on Love is Blind season 1 and 2. And in regards to Shake, I believe that he is trying to be authentic in who he is, but has a very jerky quality about him that is quite narcissistic. And the experiment clearly didn't work for him. And I feel like that's okay. It is what it is, you know? It's an experiment, after all. I think it's safe to say that it didn't work for everyone, and that's all right. Anyhow,
100% agree.
I have my own love story that I'd love to share with you. I had basically just gotten divorced, and I signed up on a matrimonial site, and I met this guy who lived halfway around the world, and we started to talk, and we it was perfect because I would have someone to speak to when I woke up and before I went to sleep, no matter how early or late that would ever be. And then we started to speak on Skype, and I could see him through a screen, and we would always keep in contact. And so our friendship grew and got deeper and deeper. And basically, he asked me to marry him, and I said yes without ever meeting him in the flesh. And I flew to India, and I met him. And I am telling you, I was like, hot damn.
Okay, so it's like 5 more minutes long. But thank you so much, Samar, for calling in. We so appreciate the kind words. And we were just kind of like chatting about this voicemail the other day because it's like, you know, you had a problem with dating apps. And I'm like, talk about flying to the other side of the world to meet somebody. That's
hot
brave.
damn is right.
Hot damn. So what do you think about that?
So, I mean, well, first of all, what's a matrimonial site?
I feel like that's old school, like, oh, is it old school? Maybe not. But like a matchmaking site, but maybe specifically for marriage. So like, could it be an arranged marriage site? Yeah, I'd like some insight into that.
So basically she did Love is Blind and it worked for her.
Yeah.
Essentially. But I'm sure she had photos of the person and they were video calling because it is 2022.
You're like, still. Yeah.
But good for her.
And especially because she said
great.
she was divorced. So she kind of like took a chance and did like this new thing. And it sounds like it's working out.
Which, that's amazing. I know it's super hard after divorce, right? Especially, it sounds like her divorce was pretty recent. So we're so happy for you. Thank you for sharing that with us.
I know. But remember like back in the day when we all used to have like pen pals and like when you were in school and you could like write your pen pal and they lived like somewhere else. I guess this is like that on steroids.
Was that ever real?
I don't
know.
Or
were our teachers just like putting them in a file cabinet somewhere?
This is a great question and needs to be investigated. That's a great question. Did you ever receive a letter back?
I don't know if I did.
I don't think I did either.
No. It might have been one of those things like where you wrote the president and you got a letter back and you're like, now you're going, there was no way.
It's like
I hope our president is sitting there writing letters to 5-year-olds.
They're like, you know what? He does. Oh, so interesting though. And I'm like, yeah, I wonder what this website that she used is called.
Oh, I want to know more.
She could be hooking some other girls up.
Yeah, I want to know more. I want to know more about those.
But we love when you guys leave us voicemail, so please call us and like we love to address
it's so fun.
All of your comments and your questions. And thank you so much, Samar. In Toronto, it's so cool. They have a listener in Canada.
Hey there, Canada. I don't think that's what they say. Okay, moving on. So I had too much coffee today.
No kidding.
I asked for questions and topics through Instagram, and we got a lot of questions about our friendship.
Yeah.
We've shared a little bit about it, and it's kind of funny timing because my mom just sent me this book.
Oh, I'll be there.
So I got it today. It's about finding unfiltered, real-life friendships in this crazy, chaotic world. So, yeah, I was just kind of thinking about it, and I feel like it's really hard to make friends when you're so for me, I relocated last year. So settling into a new city and trying to find friends, and I feel like a lot of times people aren't necessarily open to new friendships. I know for me, I have so many friends that it's really hard to manage all my friendships. So creating new ones is, not always easy to do. But thankfully, Ben had some great friends, and I've really kind of adopted them. And then it's like his one good girlfriend who I've become great friends with. Now I'm really good friends with her sister, friends with her neighbor,
that's cute.
And it just you just have to be open to it, I think.
Yeah.
And you'll know if it feels like a connection that you want to sustain.
Yeah.
Have you made friends recently, Ash?
Yeah, at my new job. I have made some friends at my new job.
That's great.
Yeah, and so they're great, and it's just easy. I like friendships that are easy and very low maintenance, and like no pressure because I'm so introverted and I really do enjoy being at home. So I just like things that are simple and easy. Like I love going to coffee and I love, like I don't want like there to be unrealistic expectations like we're going to hang out every weekend or, which is unrealistic for me.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But yeah, I think that like, I don't know, when you make friends in your 30s or even when you're older, I think you just have to be on the same page really with like what you want out of it. And obviously like it's always nice to make new friends, but sometimes it like you can't let somebody like overextend you, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Our friendship has gone so long, even through long distance, because we can go a couple of weeks without talking and just kind of pick up right where we left off. And we never are super heavy with each other.
No, 100%.
I think that's important. I think some friendships can be that way.
Yes, everyone has their role. I totally agree with that.
It's always refreshing. And we just banter and it's always like pretty light. But I know if I do have something, important going on, I can always bring it to you.
Yeah.
But like, I also just value the lightness of our friendship and that it's always just easy.
No, I understand. I totally, because there are some people who, and I agree, like every friend serves their purpose, and like people are better at certain things than others. But sometimes there's like friends who call, and you're just like, oh, I can't talk, right? I can't deal with this right now. Like I can't pick this up. I can't.
Like, I know.
Oh, I'm tired, or like I'm already having a bad day. I can't like go down this hole, and
I know.
Which on other days it's amazing. But yeah, I totally agree. And, I don't have any tips for making new friends right now. Because I think that's kind of what they were asking too. Like,
yeah, it's kind of putting yourself out there. I think, if you're looking to make new friends, maybe you join like a community of something that you're interested in, whether it's a sport or I did volleyball. I made friends in volleyball and that was really great. And there's also mastermind groups if you're an entrepreneur or even some of these communities based around reality TV. I know Caitlin Bristow has her Off the Vine Facebook group. So I also reached out to a couple people off Zola. So I joined Zola. Zola?
The wedding website?
Yes.
Oh,
there's a community on there.
Oh, I didn't
and there
know
was this venue that I wanted, and I saw this girl getting married on that day. That I know they had it was their last opening, and so she was this girl. She was writing like 100 things on there.
Oh, wow.
And I reached out to her and I was like, "Are you getting married at this place?" So we're like getting married in the same city around the same time. And I'm like, this is turning into a friendship.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting, like things that are happening in your life, you're going to have more in common with some people than others.
Yeah. And that's okay too. We've talked about like, we both obviously, you've got bonus kids, but I don't have any kids. And so like, somebody with kids might feel like, okay, I can't call Ashley for that. And they're right. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy to listen and happy to be like a listening ear, but like, my advice only means so much, whereas somebody else, maybe in the same situation, might have stronger advice, Yeah,
and thinking about getting pregnant, I know I would want somebody that was also in the same situation to resonate with. And I've seen some of my friends that went through it get closer with other moms.
Yeah.
And I totally get that. But, I've definitely felt left out in some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously, as you're transitioning into other phases in your life, I think some friendships grow stronger and you can create other friendships through those times.
Right. I agree. And I think that is like, I guess our biggest piece of advice is just not forcing anything and making everything as easy as possible. Life is already so hard. Like friendships should not be hard. I hear so much drama with friendships too. And I'm just like, who's got time for that?
It's kind of like a relationship.
Yeah, 100%. And it's
Sometimes
just like we're not in high school.
To move on.
Yeah, it's not high school anymore. Like you're allowed to pick and choose who you want in your life, right? So,
absolutely.
That's that question.
Time is fragile.
Time is fragile. A lot of questions about our opinion of the Ultimatum, which we got to, and I'm looking forward to watching more of those episodes so I can chime in a little more on that. But so many people are watching it.
Yeah, there were a couple of crazy party scenes in there, and it was a lot of fun to watch. say that. I reached out to a couple of them.
Okay.
Because I kind of felt bad about some of the things that were shown. I mean, I know we were talking about drinking and reality stars last week, and there was quite a bit of that shown, and I felt really bad. Again. Yes. I felt bad, so I reached out just to offer my support. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that helps. But it's going to be really interesting to see where these relationships lead. I'm very curious. So you'll have to let me know once you catch up.
I will. I'm just looking through all of the questions that were sent in, and this was kind of interesting. I guess I'll just kind of touch on the second point of this question. Or I guess it's the first part. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, you guys, today is a Monday, okay? Somebody was asking about, getting married late. And I was like, what is late?
What is
like,
late?
Are we getting married late?
Are we late?
I don't know. Are we? I think I'm right on time, to be quite honest.
You are.
I think that, I don't know, I guess I could have gotten married in my 20s, like everybody else, but it didn't happen, and here we are, and I feel comfortable in, my career and just, my relationship, and, I kind of think that's where we are, and I think we need to get away from that whole, are we still, really pressuring ourselves to get married at 23? That seems so weird to me.
Well, case in point, the Ultimatum.
Right.
They're all 23. Well, apparently some of them are 30.
Yeah.
But I know obviously I'm a later bride, especially for it being my first marriage. But
right. Well, when people expect it to be okay, well, it's her second marriage. Is that okay? I'm so confused.
You should still be allowed to celebrate at any point in time. I don't feel that I have to trade anything off. If I want to have a princess ball gown, I'm going to have a princess ball gown. I'll have a freaking tiara. I'm not going to have any of that.
You're not going to have a tiara. I'm not going to let that happen. But no, I understand what you're saying.
It's just different. Ashley's bachelorette is very spa. We're not having sashes and crowns
and I would die.
Weird straws or anything like that. We're having, I don't know, it's a very sophisticated thing. And I think that's really based on taste more so than anything. So, but I think when you're older, maybe you're more established, maybe you have more of a budget on your own rather than leaning on your parents as much.
Right. Yeah. I guess that's our response to that. Let's rephrase that. Let's not say married late, because it's we're not getting married late. No. I don't know. Is this around the time we should be getting our first divorce? What should we be doing?
Right. I always think if I would have gotten married earlier, I would have never had the chance to meet Ben. So it wouldn't be meant to be where we're at now. So
or you could be going through a divorce, which is fine. Not shading that, everyone does it.
Happens.
But,
yeah.
I just think that it's 2022 and all of these.
We're millennials, right? And millennials are getting married much later. A lot of millennials are choosing to not get married at all.
I know.
Because there are so many implications in the world, like student loans. If you join your incomes, you may be required to pay more back. And it doesn't really make sense if we get and it doesn't make sense if we get a president in that forgives loans. You don't want to be paying any more than the minimum. That's just my personal, recommendation. But there are so many financial implications and all sorts of other things. And these days, women are much more financially independent and, doing prenups and everything else. So it's just a different time, you know?
I think women used to get married because they needed to, right? You needed the husband,
that stability,
head of household, and this, that, and the other. Now it's just we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. My mom has always worked too, and I've never experienced that where I felt like I had to be this traditional thing super early. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we're right on time, Ash.
I think so too. God's timing. Being friends with people with vastly different ideologies and when to drop the line. I think a lot of people went through that over the past few years.
I bet a lot of friendships were broken over the past few years based on politics.
Everything going on. I don't know. I think I value difference of opinion, and I think that just because of what I used to do in news, I just have such a poker face for people I'm open to hearing mostly everything, right? I'm open to hearing a lot, but that doesn't mean I want to be like your good friend. If you have like these views that are just like, you know, and I don't know how you could be a good friend with someone like that. I don't know. Maybe you can.
Yeah, that would be kind of hard. I'm trying to think if I have a friend that has vastly different...
Like off the deep end.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily.
I definitely have seen people who maybe aren't close friends, but like who I know, who I think like has you know, exposed themselves as, oh wow, okay, you're really into this whole whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Like, so I guess if you're asking this question, I guess it's probably time to drop the line.
Yeah.
You know, if you're already there where you're like, this doesn't feel good, and
yeah, especially if they're really outspoken and making you uncomfortable, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But I do also, gosh, I see so much of this just biases in all these social media platforms that people are on day in and day out. I mean, people are just on this social media all the time. And you're getting information and news based on the things that you've looked at, the things that you've liked.
Yeah, you're being
maybe
fed
even
what you
things
want.
that you've said when your phone is sitting next to you. I don't want to get into too many conspiracies, but I do feel bad that it's regionalized. It's, you know, based on, you know, social status and things like that. Like, people are getting filtered information. So, you know,
you're right about that.
Feel
like
for these groups and...
Yes. People don't know what they don't know, you know? And so, like, if you've only grown up a certain way, or if you're being fed certain media or certain, you know, I hate to even call it news, but like, you know, information, then, you know, you don't know what you don't know. So I don't know. I think if this person's asking this question, like maybe it's time to just kind of evaluate. Like, I don't think friendship should be taking that much out of you. And I don't know, I'll say that time and time again, but
That's
if I'm sitting there asking somebody like, should I drop this girl? It's probably time to go. Yeah.
And that's basically my synopsis of the ultimatum.
Yeah. If you're on the show, you have
time to go.
It's time to break up. Like,
pretty much.
That's so funny.
There you have it.
Lots of questions about wedding.
I just got 2 text messages. One that my Wells Fargo bank account is being broken into, and the other is my estimated tax payment. So on that note,
I'm breaking into your bank account. We need to get out of Wells. I've heard nothing but bad things about Wells.
I love Wells Fargo.
Do you really?
I am a huge advocate for Wells Fargo.
In what way? Because there's definitely whole documentaries about them.
They have never, well, and yeah, they gave us the information when the social, whatever was stolen a couple of years ago, but I've never had an issue with them. I've always been able to get customer service on the line. I've not had a problem.
I don't know. I'm thinking of switching it up. I've been with them too long, and I just want to keep them on their feet. Like, I want somebody who should I go to? Like, any of our listeners, let us know if you like Truist, Bank of America. What are the other ones? You know what? People like credit unions, and I think I'm seriously considering going to a credit union for whatever reason.
What's the difference?
I think that their customer service is just much better.
Really? Because they're a smaller...
Yeah, and it's like,
outfit?
I don't know, I'll send you some information so I don't sound dumb. But everyone's moving to credit unions now, so consider that.
Okay, interesting.
All right, well, we will take some more questions on our next podcast. I know Jess has got to jump and see who's breaking into her bank account right now. She's not going to have any money for the wedding. But please, like Jess said, please subscribe on YouTube, and we love you so much. Thank you so much for listening, and give us topic ideas, content ideas, all of the ideas, and we will do it.
Call us. You guys are the best.
Call us.